Hammer gang. Cause we always hit the nail on the head. So check this out, my Miami Hurricane fans. The season is over. It's over. Now, clearly, Miami did not make it to the ACC championship game. And in my opinion, and the way things have been going, I don't think Miami is going to make it into the playoffs. Um, if you think otherwise, then you might know something that I don't know. You might have more optimistic. You you might just be more optimistic than I am, but I don't think Miami is going to make it into the college football playoffs. The last couple of rankings, they've pretty much showed us that we're not invited. We're not going to be in, no matter how good we is, no matter the fact that guys like Nick Saban said that if Miami get in, it will be absolute disaster for a lot of these teams because Miami got the team, the complete team that could possibly go all the way and hell, even win a natty. But uh, the cards have been played and we're here. Now we're at the mercy of the committee. And, I don't expect them to rule in our favors. We've seen the headlines. Hell, some of us even seen the campaign that's being ran against Miami by some of those biased guys that's on, ESPN, those analysts, the Galloways of this world. But Miami, we got to sit back and we got to reflect on this season. We could have been 12-0. We could have ran the tables. We could have been held the number one, number two team in the country. But typical Hurricane fashion, we drop a game or two that we're not supposed to, that we wasn't supposed to, that we was clearly better than our opponent, and we let them get the best of us. Every team that we play, they get up to play us. Plain and simple, they do. They get up to play us, and unfortunate for us in those 2 weeks that we got those losses, Miami did not play Miami standard football. Now, you can play the blame game. There's a song by Kanye West called Blame, the Blame Game. You go listen to that. But we could play the blame game. We could blame Mario. We could blame Carson Beck. We could blame Shannon Dawson. Hell, we could blame Alex Mirabal. We could blame the O line, D line. We could blame everybody. Hell, we could blame Sebastian the mascot. But at the end of the day, we still got those 2 losses, and that's what put us in this predicament that we're in right now. Let's just be honest. If we hadn't gotten those 2 losses, hell, if we even had one, we would have been playing for the ACC championship. Now, the ACC championship game is a whole different rabbit hole that we're going to go down. I want to talk about that today, plain and simple. The ACC championship game will be unwatchable. It will be unwatchable. Let's just be honest. Now, a few things to talk about that game. Duke at this moment is 7-5. Duke at this moment is 7-5. 2 ACC losses though. 2 ACC losses. Now they did lose to NC State, I think, but that game wasn't considered a ACC match or something like that. But I was that Virginia. Or no, it doesn't matter. But Duke is playing in the ACC championship game. Manny Diaz is going to be coaching in the ACC championship game, which, by the way, is just a rerun of what we've seen this season. Because Virginia already beaten Duke in the regular season. They already beat them. Beat them like 30-something. As a matter of fact, it's a click away. Let me just look at it real quick and tell you how did Duke get beat by 34-17. Virginia's already beaten Duke 34-17. I'm not watching that again. How much more improvement can Duke make by next week to be able to beat Virginia, who's already beat them in the regular season 34-17? I'm not watching that. I'll say this too. Miami didn't have the business. Miami put himself in this predicament. But as a conference, I remember back in 2020, during that COVID year, Ohio State got put in the championship game over some other team because the Big Ten bended their rules to put them in because they knew they was a better team. They knew that they would have a better chance with Ohio State than whoever the other team was. The ACC doesn't have those kind of balls. The ACC does not have those kind of balls. You're looking at a scenario now. Let's just say Duke gets the upset. Let's just say Duke upsets Virginia. I don't think it'll happen, but it could happen. It's college football. Teams get up to play other teams differently when the circumstances are different. It would be crazy. It would be absolute crazy to see Manny Diaz heist ACC trophy, and then the results are clear. No ACC team gets into the playoffs. Let's be honest. They're not putting Duke in the playoffs. 7-5 Duke is not getting in the playoffs. If you believe that, I got some real estate in the desert for you with a beachfront property all around it. Come on down. Come on. The best beach view in the desert you could ever find. If you believe that Duke win the ACC championship and they're getting into the playoffs, you're sadly mistaken. It's not happening. It won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. Hell, it won't happen yesterday. Duke is not getting in the playoff if they win the ACC championship. The ACC championship, if won by Duke, means absolutely nothing. And if they allow this game to be played, which is going to be played, I would say this. Our commissioner for the ACC has zero kahunas. Zero balls. None. He's not fit to make the executive decisions. I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. Of course, y'all saying, oh, you just want them to put y'all in over Duke. Yes. But it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Yes, it benefits me as a fan to see Miami go play for the ACC championship. But it makes sense. Given the circumstance right now, it makes sense. Duke has nothing to play for. This ACC championship game is going to be another blowout by Virginia. Virginia is a way better team than Duke. Duke is going to get blown out in that game. It's not even going to be close. Virginia, go ahead and give Virginia the ACC championship. Go ahead. That game, for all ratings and views and all that game will be unwatchable. I'm not watching it. Yeah, of course I'll check for the results and the scores after that, but I'm not watching that game. I'm not watching Duke versus Virginia again and watch another blowout again, another uncompetitive game. I'm not watching that. Who's watching that? Definitely not. A lot transpired yesterday. Few things the Miami Hurricanes needed to happen didn't happen. We needed 2 out of 3 things to happen. We needed Virginia to lose. They won. We needed SMU to lose. They lost. SMU shit the bed. Last minute, last seconds, they shit the bed in the game. They played from down the whole game, came back, took the lead, and then on the pursuing drive, Cal went ahead and scored. SMU got the ball back, got into a 52-yard field goal situation, which they missed, and that's your game. SMU is no longer a competitor for the ACC championship, if we want to say. Had they won, it would have been SMU versus Virginia, and, there would be no arguments about that. That would be, SMU with 1 loss and Virginia with 1 loss, and, it is what it is. Everybody else would have 2 losses. You can't really complain about that. But the fact that when you look at the ACC standings, here's what we got. Clear cut is Virginia. No, I'm sorry, Virginia. Clear cut is Virginia. Virginia is 1 loss ACC team. They're the only team in the ACC with 1 loss. So clearly they're in regardless. Everybody else have 2 losses or more. The tie with 2 losses. You got Duke at 2 losses. You got Georgia Tech with 2 losses. Pitt with 2 losses. Miami with 2 losses. And SMU with 2 losses. So clearly it came down to conference, percentage or whatever. Duke got a higher percentage than us because we played teams that are absolutely garbage. We play teams that are absolutely garbage in the ACC. Syracuse is 1-7. We beat them. Virginia Tech is 2-6. We beat them. Florida State, absolute garbage, trash. Seriously, Florida State is an absolute disaster. 2-6 in the ACC. We don't get no cool points for beating Florida State. They are trash. They are beneath our foot right now. They are beneath the ACC foot right now. This is one of the teams that talk so much trash about getting out the ACC. This is one of them teams that bigged up their chest and now they're at the bottom of the barrel. Scum of the ACC. This is what we beat. A 2-6 Florida State team. You don't get much credit for that. We beat Stanford. They're 3-5. Stanford, 3-5. We beat them. We lost to a 4-4 Louisville. We beat NC State. They 4-4. But I'm basically saying, guys, outside of Pitt, we really didn't play any ACC team that had a fucking pulse. None of them. None of them. Absolute disaster. Absolute trash. Every ACC team that we've beaten this year went on and did absolutely nothing in the ACC. Nothing. So, of course, when you look at Duke's schedule and some of those teams beat on the teams that we played, they got the percentage over us. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Florida State, absolute garbage. Trash. We beat them, and it made no difference. No difference. You're looking at Florida State finishing 2-6. You're looking at teams like Clemson finishing 4-4. Clemson losing to Duke was a disaster. That was a total disaster. See, at the end of the day, we like to root for upsets. We like to root for the underdogs. And then at the end, it bites you in the butt. I'm pretty sure most of you guys was rooting on Duke to beat Clemson. Your hatred for Clemson was so good and so high. You was rooting for it. And when it happened, most of y'all was excited and laughing at it. But at the end of the day, it comes back and bites you in the butt. Because now you got a Duke team playing for the ACC championship with freaking 5 losses. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. At some point, the ACC got to say something, man. You got to come out and say something. Listen, in the near future, forget all this tiebreaker bullshit. If you have no absolute chance of making the playoff, I don't care what your percentage is. You're not getting in. This need to be made clear because this would not happen in the SEC. This would not happen in the Big Ten. They would step in and say, hey, I know we made those rules. Sue us if you have to, but you're not playing. You're not playing. You're not going. No, we're going to change the rule, and we're going to let you know that we're going to change the rule because your team is absolutely garbage. Your team is not beneficial for the conference playing in that championship game. There's no benefits for the ACC if Duke wins an ACC championship. There's no benefits. There's none whatsoever. You can only benefit off teams like SMU, Miami. Pretty much it. That's it. You can throw Georgia Tech in the mix. Not really. You can throw Pitt in the mix. Not really. Because Miami just beat Pitt. Pitt will be knocked out of the top 25. They won't even be a factor for the ACC championship either. Georgia Tech wouldn't be a factor either because let's just be honest. When these next rankings come out, they're going to be off. They're going to be not even ranked. So the only sense it would make for the ACC championship game would have been Miami or SMU. SMU just blew their shot. Miami playing a one-day game. When you're looking at this, it should have been like, listen, man, at this point, Miami's going to get screwed at large. They're not getting in. The committee has basically showed their hands this whole freaking past couple weeks that they're not going to compare Miami to Notre Dame. They've actually said it on national TV already. They said Miami needed to get within 3 rankings of Notre Dame for this head-to-head to start being compared. Miami did so, and then they came and tell you guys that we're not going to do it. We said we're going to do it, but we're not going to do it. Plain and simple. Don't expect nothing different. Don't expect nothing different. So essentially, Miami season is over. Essentially, Miami season is over. Let's just be honest. We saw the ACC championship last year. We saw Clemson win, got in. They got into the playoffs. We also seen SMU lose and still get in at number 11. So I say that to say this. If Alabama were to go out and lose the SEC championship, I don't think they'll take them off the playoff. I don't think they're going to penalize them for playing that game. They've shown that in the past. They did it for an ACC team. What made you think they won't do it for the SEC? So let's just say Georgia ends up beating Alabama in the SEC championship. It'll essentially means nothing. It'll essentially mean nothing. If they punish Alabama, it's going to be all hell to break loose. Let's just be honest. It's going to be all hell to break loose. It's going to start a domino effect where you're going to have teams that's in that playoff range that's going to say, you know what? I know I qualified and I made it to the conference championship. I'm in the playoffs already. If the playoff starts today, I'm in. I'm not playing that conference championship. I'm not playing it. And then you have a problem. Now, if you put the second-tier team in Ole Miss or somebody, then Ole Miss is probably going to say, you know what? I'm not playing it either. I don't want to play it. I don't want the hand down. I don't want to play it because now essentially if I lose it, I'm out of my spot. I don't want to play it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Listen, at the end of the day, Miami's not in the ACC championship. We was this close, guys. We was this close. All these crazy scenarios that needed to happen. At the end of the day, only one thing messed that all up. Duke won. Duke won. Had Duke lost yesterday, the ACC championship would have been booked. It would have been Miami versus Virginia. That's tough. That's tough. Every year we do these scenarios and we always come up short. That's tough. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of pros and cons to this season now. It ain't all negative. 2 losses derailed the season. But this is a 10-win season. This is back-to-back 10-win seasons. Now, the only unfortunate thing about this, a lot of these guys, these high-caliber guys that we have, they will not be back next year, whether it's due to eligibility or whatever. They're going to – a lot of these guys that we depend on week in and week out will be entering the NFL draft. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of experience to be replaced. Now, I'm confident that the coaching staff is going to do all that. I'm pretty sure at some point during the offseason, we're going to talk about the quarterback position. Who are we going to get out of the transfer portal? Is what we have on the roster right now behind Carson Beck good enough? We're going to have those conversations, plain and simple. You know, Darion Coleman should be coming in. What's his future going to be like in Miami? We're going to have a lot of these conversations in the offseason. So, you know, be prepared for that. Obviously, the transfer portal, a lot's going to take place in there. Miami's going to basically, you know, indulge in that. So we're going to talk about it. But as of this moment, in my opinion, we should be looking at what bowl game does Miami get in my opinion. Now, come Tuesday, maybe I'm delusional or something, but come Tuesday, maybe they saw something that I didn't. Maybe they actually start comparing the Notre Dame game and Miami game, and we're in the conversation here and there, but I don't see any room for that. I don't see where we get in. We needed a few dominoes to fall, and they act like they were glued to the ground. So I don't see where the big changes are coming, where Miami just magically gets into the playoffs. I'm looking at ESPN prediction, and we're still going to be sitting at number 12. You know what happened on Saturday and Friday and Saturday? You know what happened? The only thing that happened that didn't even matter to the University of Miami at this point was Texas A&M losing to Texas. In our bigger picture for the college football playoffs, that was insignificant. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. We needed dominoes to fall a lot closer to where we was ranked. You needed Alabama to lose to Auburn. It clearly didn't happen. Auburn just ain't got enough gas in the tank. You needed Oklahoma to lose. That could have happened, but let's just be honest. You can't really depend on LSU. They fired their coach mid-season, didn't want to pay him. Now they're going to pay him. And, by the way, LSU is going to acquire Lane Kiffin. Sorry, Florida Gator fans. You sat around all off season. You hugged on his nuts. You caressed his nuts. You did all kind of things to his nuts, ungodly things to Lane Kiffin's nuts. And he's not coming to Florida. All that nut hugging for nothing. Now, in the next few days, you'll start calling him names. You'll start talking about your next candidate. I think it's Summerall or whoever it is. Florida Gators, prepare yourself to be miserable for the next 3 to 4 years. Whoever's coming in there going to have to rebuild your whole program. You took a 5-star quarterback and you turned him into trash. You took a whole roster full of blue chips and you turned them into trash. So that Lane Kiffin show, that's pretty much over. Now, speaking of Lane Kiffin, because it seems like everywhere you turn, they're either talking about the Miami Hurricane playoffs or they're talking about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was referred to with a certain quote that we all heard a lot. I think everybody at this point in your age, you've heard this before. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna actually take the time to see. Have you ever heard that before? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Put a yes or no in the chat, please. Put a yes or no in the chat. I want to see. Have you ever heard that term? Let's just do it. I'll give it a minute. You guys can get in the comment section and let me know. Have you ever heard the term, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife? While you guys get in the chat and let me know, I'll just play a clip for you.
Like, share, and subscribe. All right, appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe.
And make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
All right. I don't see no answers yet. Of course, Marcus, Florida State, terrible, man, terrible. Y'all didn't do us no good on our schedule. Y'all didn't do us no good. Having y'all on our schedule this year was absolutely worthless. Man, that's tough. Yes, JT money. Notre Dame shouldn't be. Listen, I'm done with the Notre Dame thing. I'm gonna leave that up to the committee. It is what it is. You say start Coleman as a freshman. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I doubt that'll happen, but we'll see. Okay. So you can turn a hoe into a housewife. That was pretty much what one of the reporters of Ole Miss or analyst or beat writer or whatever you want to call him referred to when asking Ole Miss former head coach, soon to be former head coach Lane Kiffin. I don't blame the guy for calling Lane Kiffin a hoe. He didn't really call him a hoe, but he basically made the reference. And if the shoe fits, let's just be honest, the shoe fits. I'm going to put you in a scenario now. You're with this girl. Everything's going smoothly. You know, been together for a while. You've been going on dates. Everything's been up and down. You might have a little argument here or there, but it's nothing consistent. She ain't nagging you and all that. So, you know, all of a sudden, this these two people keep hanging around. These two guys hanging around. They're trying to entice her. I don't know. Let's just say LSU is the work bay. You know, the guy at work that's hitting on your girl, aka Lane Kiffin. And then you got, you know, maybe a guy couple neighborhoods away. That's Florida. This dude's always hitting on your girl because he's seen her at the park or something. So you got Florida hitting on Lane Kiffin, and you got LSU basically the work bay. Lane Kiffin, they want Lane Kiffin. Both of them want Lane Kiffin. Now you as Ole Miss, you start seeing a little behavior from Lane Kiffin, aka the whole. Listen, you decided that hey, I want to give you whatever you want, whatever to make you happy. I'm willing to do it. Whatever work day is trying to convince you to take, I'm gonna give it to you. We already in a relationship. We already, anything you want, I'll give you. Basically, that is Ole Miss's relationship with Lane Kiffin. Anything you want, I will give you. We will support anything you want. You want this amount of money for, NIL, we got you. You want us to do this, we got you. You want us to do that, we got you. You want us to raise your salary to whatever it is that they're offering you, we got you. And this is Lane Kiffin. Girl, no, I think I should try the new guy. Big pause. So when my boy, I don't know what his name is. When an old boy called Lane Kiffin a hoe, referred to him with that quote, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hey, the whole world, the whole country, if you're a college football fan, you know Lane Kiffin has no loyalty to nobody. He has no loyalty to nobody. Ex Tennessee, ex Tennessee fans, ex USC fans, ex anywhere that Lane Kiffin has been. Now, a lot of you guys wanted Lane Kiffin at Miami. Hell, Lane Kiffin even wanted to be at Miami. But as soon as let's just say Lane Kiffin had came to Miami, and we're rising, we're winning 10 games, we're winning 11 games because that's what he's done at Ole Miss. Right now, Ole Miss is in the playoffs, and you're leaving them behind. And not only that, I'm hearing allegedly, he's demanding to coach out the college football playoffs, or else he's going to purge players from that roster. He's going to purge coaches from Ole Miss. This is alleged. I have no facts. I've just been seeing the reports around that saying that's his demand, basically. He's going to become the head coach over at LSU, one of Ole Miss's rivals, by the way. And you want me to sit here and let you coach my team, let you have enough time to talk to them. And, of course, there's going to be conversations had between you and the players. There's going to be coaches. You're going to have these conversations because now it's in the air. You're going to LSU. Okay, fine. You're going to be the LSU coach. Everybody in the room knows it. What are the conversations like when you're talking to players that, have eligibility left? Players that you find to be absolute studs, absolute players like you. What are those conversations going to be like? Hey, Coach, I know you're going to LSU, man, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you should come with me. You'll do phenomenal over there. I can trust you here. Come on. Come on. Get that cancer out of there, Ole Miss. I know it's hard, you're in the playoffs and you would like for him to coach it out and, possibly win a championship because, once you're in the playoff, it's a chance. It's a chance. But at this point, you got to cut the cancer before it spread, Right now, you got a cancer. His name is Lane Kiffin. That is your cancer right now. You got to cut that cancer. It's in your big toe. It's in your big toe. You can hold on to that big toe all you want, but if you don't cut that big toe off, it's gonna spread. Ain't nothing you can do for that big toe. Ain't nothing chemo, ain't no medicine or nothing. The only option you have without that cancer spreading from that big toe is you got to cut it off, dog. You got to cut that big toe off, dog. Let's just see what happened with Ole Miss and all of them. But if I'm Ole Miss, all right, Lane Kiffin, interim coach or whatever, whoever want to step up and coach these games, whoever decided that they're not gonna follow Lane Kiffin to wherever he's going. Hey, you've seen him coach enough. You know his tendencies. You've been on the staff with him long enough. Do the same crap that he's been doing. In certain situations, you know what he likes to do. Somebody can step up and do it. Plain and simple. And if I'm Ole Miss giving this information, go ahead and start your coaching, start your search. Because right now, the candidates out there ain't too appeasing. They ain't too appetizing. So it is what it is with that. Um, I've seen reports and I've seen people talk about the possibility of Lane Kiffin not coaching that game, and then boom, Ole Miss is not a playoff team anymore. Ole Miss with 11-1 right now. I don't know how to feel about it from a Miami Hurricane standpoint. If Lane Kiffin is not coaching Ole Miss and Miami gets in the playoffs, I'm all in favor. It is what it is. I don't care how deserving them kids is. If the playoff committee said, hey, you know what, you ain't got your head coach, you can't do it. We can't put you in. Hey, and Miami gets in because of something like that. Hey, that's tough. That's tough. You would not get an argument out of me. I don't care how crazy and unfair it will be for those Ole Miss Rebel players and everything. It is what it is. Blame head coach. I mean, let's just be honest. This whole college football is about money anyway. Half of you guys are on that roster because you chose to come there because of the money was offered to you anyway. So now that your coach left because he's offered so much more money, that's tough. That's tough. It is what. My mic just turned off on me. Y'all let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Y'all let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. See, I'm on mute. Okay. So clearly. Okay, I'm back. Y'all let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, perfect. All right, so don't know what just happened with the mic, but I looked over in the red. It was on red light. That means it turned off. So I don't know. Maybe I touched something. I don't know. But anyways, Lane Kiffin, man. If at the end of the day you decide that they decide that they don't want you to coach, they want you to move on. They don't want a LSU guy in their locker room, and this costs Ole Miss a playoff spot or whatever. Hey, if it benefits Miami getting in, I'm all for it. If it don't benefit Miami, I don't care about it. It is what it is. It'll be a conversation for the rest of the college football world to talk about. But if it's not beneficial to Miami, then I really don't care. I really don't care. It is what it is. College football is about money. It's about money. It's about money. The players getting paid. The coaches getting paid. It is what it is. It's about the money. So, yeah. Now, Bowl games, bowl games, bowl games, bowl games. At this point, at sometime, we got to sit down and talk about the possibilities of Miami not getting in, and what bowl game do we go to? What bowl game is out there that we can? Clearly at 10-2, you're gonna get a well high rated bowl game. So clearly you'd have to look at the list of highly rated bowl games, the ones that's not designated, like, certain conferences in certain situations. You got to look at all of that. You got to look at, some bowl games are designated to the SEC. Probably be like an SEC team versus a Big Ten team, SEC team versus a Big 12 team, or a Big 12 team versus a Big Ten team. Some of those bowl game are designated that way. So outside of those scenarios, we got to start looking at what bowl game will Miami playing. I know some of you guys don't want to have this uncomfortable conversation right now because you still got hopes and praying, and you're banking on the committee doing the right thing and comparing Miami to Notre Dame and putting Miami in over Notre Dame. You're banking on them doing the right thing, and they've showed you already that they're not going to do it. So some of you guys are going to wait to the last minute until that bracket is filled all the way and you don't see Miami in the top 12, and then it'll dawn upon you that, hey, what bowl game are we going to play in? It's going to be an uncomfortable conversation. What bowl game are we going to play in? Me personally, I'm just like you guys. I'm hoping and praying that at the end of the day, they do the right thing and Miami gets in. But we still got to be level-headed and say, you know what? At the end of the day, push comes to shove and we don't get in, what bowl game are we going to play in? So that is where I'm at right now. What bowl game are we going to play in? Who will be our opponent? I see Miami versus Texas. You know what? Let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about Sarkisian. Texas got 3 losses. Now, they just beat the number 3 team in the country in Texas A&M. Rivalry game. Texas was sitting at number 17 in the country. It's going to be very interesting to see how far up do they move Texas. How far up do they move? We know they're going to move up, but how far up? We also saw scenarios this weekend that could possibly, throw a big wrench in what Miami got going on. Had Michigan beaten Ohio State, we would have had another issue right there. You would have a 10-2 Michigan. 10-2 Michigan. Well within range of Miami too, by the way. We're 12, they're 15. We know where that would have went. So a lot of things didn't go our way. We also watched BYU late start against UCF. By the way, I told you guys, never trust UCF. Never bank on UCF. They're absolute trash, garbage, basura. You can't trust them. And UCF gave false hope. Because they jumped out 14-0 against BYU. And you're like, oh, snap. If they could hold on, if they could get the job done against BYU, we might have something brewing here. We might get one of the pieces of the puzzle that we need to inch closer to this thing. We might get BYU up out of there. Nope. Finished the game. Won by 20. In typical UCF fashion. A big letdown. UCF has been a huge letdown ever since they got into the Big 12. They're no longer group of five, so clearly the competition is better. Clearly they got to recruit better and get better players and sell Orlando, which great weather, great NIL opportunities all around in Orlando. You mean to tell me you can't recruit top-notch players to get there so you could possibly win a Big 12 championship? That's tough. Or you could actually, be competitive? Man, that's tough. But never bank on UCF, plain and simple. So BYU handle business. Hell, Utah handle business. Everybody handle business. Everybody that we needed to lose actually won. You needed Alabama to lose, they won the Iron Bowl. You needed Oklahoma to lose, they won. Who else? Ole Miss won. Um, Oregon won. Who else? Who else? Go down the whole list. Georgia Tech, could have beaten Georgia, in my opinion. But Georgia still prevails. The only thing that happened was Texas A&M got their first loss, which means absolutely nothing. Because they're not falling out of the top 10. They're not. They just lost to Texas, who's number 17. They're not going to drop them down with one loss to a ranked team, to an SEC team. They're not. So clearly the only team that lost means nothing. Indiana, we knew what they was going to do to Purdue. Purdue's been Purdue. So we knew that was going to happen. Ohio State beat Michigan. And we actually needed Ohio State to beat Michigan because we knew if Ohio State lost, they still would be in top 10. And now you would have a problem with Michigan. So Ohio State won. Great for them. Nothing in the range of what Miami needed to happen happened. Notre Dame, Stanford. Stanford is an absolute joke. Stanford is an absolute joke. Notre Dame last two games, nobody expected them to lose. They played Syracuse and Stanford, just like we played them. And we saw how Rudy Poo and sorry they was. So who expected Notre Dame to lose to those two teams? Nobody. We all knew at the end of the year, Miami had to take care of business, and we did. We actually did. We did. Miami took care of business. Not only did we beat Pitt, but we beat them convincingly. They never had a chance. They never hanged around. They never made it uncomfortable. We had a complete game against Pitt. Beat them convincingly. Hell, we beat them better than Notre Dame did. So at the end of the day, we handled business. But if I refer back to a couple shows ago, when I told you guys that Miami, I referred to the University of Miami in this football situation that we're in as a single mom. I refer to the University of Miami football as a single mom. And I say that because we're always dependent on somebody to do something for us. We're never controlling our own destiny. We're never taking accountability for, everything that's in front of us. We're always depending on somebody else to do something for us. A single mom, depending on the government for aid, depending on the government for food stamp, depending on somebody to come save you. That's what I refer to the University of Miami as this season after we took those two losses. Hell, I even gave us a funeral because I knew essentially we would need so much to happen for us to even get into the ACC championship, for us to even get into the playoffs, because we did it to ourselves. We the one, and I referred to a single mom because let's just go down this vulgar picture. Miami opened its legs to SMU and Louisville. Now you're a single mom, two baby daddies. Now you're looking for somebody to come save you. And whether it's Duke losing to freaking Wake Forest, whether it's Virginia losing to Virginia Tech, every now and then you'll get a simp or two that comes around. That's Cal beating SMU. And Here we are. Here we are. Always depending on somebody to do something for us. Miami 2025 season, aka single mom. Single mom. Always depending on somebody to do something for us. Hey, dude, can you lose for us? SMU, can you lose for us? Virginia Tech, can you lose for us? Pitt, can you beat Georgia Tech for us? You know what, Pitt, you actually did us a favor. Thank you. Now we turn around and the same person that did us a favor, we knocked them out. That's tough. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. Bowl game. Bowl game. Get ready, guys. Get ready. Get ready. Championship week. Championship week. You got Georgia versus Alabama. Georgia versus Alabama. As much as you guys would want Georgia to go out there and beat Alabama, Alabama get that third loss, and then they start considering Miami, I don't think that's the way this is going to work. I think before these championship games, at some point, they're going to tell you guys Alabama is safe. I think at some point, they're going to tell you that. If Alabama goes out and lose this SEC championship game, they're safe. I think at some point they're going to do that. They did it for SMU. Why would they not do it for an SEC team? At some point. Now, you guys are going to want Georgia to beat Alabama, blah, blah, blah. And I think the total opposite is going to happen. I think the total opposite is going to happen. Georgia has shown me time and time again, no matter how much they're supposed to be better than Alabama, no matter how much they're supposed to be on top, they're supposed to be doing this, that, and the third, they're supposed to be the better team, you're supposed to this, you're supposed to that. Georgia has shown me time and time again that they're going to lose to Alabama. They have shown me time and time again, even this season, they're going to lose to Alabama. Georgia has shown their hand when it comes to Alabama. They just don't know what to do. They've beaten Alabama one time, which was the grand finale, which, by the way, great for Georgia, winning them, beating them, and winning the Natty. I don't trust Georgia to beat Alabama, just like I don't trust Tennessee to beat Georgia. Just like I don't trust Texas. I don't trust Texas to beat Georgia. That's it. That's it. It's like an ongoing cycle. I don't trust Tennessee to beat Alabama. No matter how much going into that game they hype them up, they never come out on top. Georgia barely ever beats Alabama. I don't trust them to do it. I've already seen them lost to Alabama this season. Hell, I was watching Georgia play against Georgia Tech, and I'm watching this game, and I'm like, Miami would destroy Georgia. Miami would whoop Georgia's ass. Hell, I feel like Florida State fans during that 13-0 season. We want Georgia. We want Georgia. Watching Georgia versus Georgia Tech, I looked at that team, and I say, you know what? Miami would totally beat Georgia. If you lined up Miami and Georgia today, Miami would win. That's what I see. Maybe y'all seeing otherwise, but that's what I saw. I watched that game to its entirety. I watched the Georgia versus Georgia Tech to its entirety. If you lined up Miami and Georgia right now, I would take Miami. I would take Miami. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I would take Miami. You line up Miami and Georgia today, I will take Miami. So I don't expect Georgia to beat Alabama in the conference championship. Plain and simple. I expect Alabama to win. They'll finish 11-2. Expect Georgia to lose. They'll finish 11-2. And those are the two SEC teams. They'll still be in the playoffs. It'll just be rearranged. You know, maybe Georgia won't be the number 4 seed, you know, an SEC champion. but they'll still finish within the rounds of getting a home game during the first round, and Alabama will be the SEC champion, and they'll be waiting in the bye week. I'm taking Alabama to beat Georgia. Don't know about you guys. Don't know about you guys. Now you got Texas Tech versus BYU, a rematch of what we already seen this season. BYU already played Texas Tech, and they've already lost. They lost in blowout fashion. So clearly, I don't think they've made any improvement that significant to where all of a sudden now BYU is going to beat, Texas Tech. So I say all that to say this. BYU loses to Texas Tech. BYU's going to drop. Miami's going to be in that 11th spot, just sitting in that 11th spot, in my opinion, outside of the playoffs. Outside of the playoff. That one spot below the 10th spot to not get in. It's going to be absolute cringe, absolute crazy. You're going to be sitting at that, damn, you was this close. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. We're gonna be sitting right there at 11, in my opinion. Ranked 11, but we all know that 11th spot belongs to the ACC championship, the ACC championship team. Now, let me get a little petty. Let me get in my petty bag. As much as it's gonna hurt to say this, but if I'm gonna be petty, I want Duke to win the ACC championship. I want Duke to win it. A lot of Miami fans is not going to agree with that because clearly, Manny Diaz. Clearly, you guys are going to be running away from the trolls. You're going to be running away from Manny Diaz went to Duke. Duke won an ACC championship before Miami. We're going to be running away from that. Y'all are going to be running away from the trolling and stuff like that. Some people ain't built for the trolling. That's tough. But in the case that happens, Duke will not make the playoffs. If you're thinking Duke's going to win the ACC championship and they got a guarantee, think again. It's not happening. Duke is not getting into this playoff, whether they win the ACC or not. They're not getting in. So now you got Duke finishing 8-5 with an ACC championship. 8-5 with an ACC championship. Boy, that sounds so crazy. 8-5 with an ACC championship. Man, that's tough. That's tough right there. So now no ACC team gets into the playoffs. No ACC team gets into the playoff. And that right there will bring up the conversation of Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner. We saw this coming. Now, think about this. You have Miami versus Virginia. Virginia. You have Miami versus Virginia. Clearly, either one of them win, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. They're guaranteed. Both of them. They can't keep them out. Now, let's just say Miami wins. Miami is not going to be the number 11 team that you see on these little prediction things. We're well within round. We're at number 12 right now. We're well within round of where we would be anywhere from 5, 6, 7, or 8. We would actually have a bye week. We would actually jump a lot of these other teams that don't play for their conference championship, that don't win a conference championship, those at-large teams. We would slide in there, and those teams will slide down. But I'm not the commissioner. I don't make the decisions what's best for the ACC. I don't bend the rules to make it what's best for the ACC. That's not my job. You're going to say, you know what, let Duke go play. It's fair. What is the benefits of the ACC? You know what the SEC and the Big Ten done? They do what's best for the conference as a whole. They do what's best for the conference as a whole. If you don't believe me, the example is there. Go back to the 2020 season. The Big Ten says, F this. Ohio State is playing for that Big Ten championship because they would have the best way of getting into this playoff. They would have the best scenario to get into the playoff. They're the highest ranked, even though they're not the highest in the Big Ten championship. They would actually finish outside of the Big Ten championship. Big Ten said, no, you're the highest rated team. We're going to put you in there anyway. You're going to go on into that playoff. You're going to go on and beat Clemson. And you're going to go on and play Alabama for the national championship. That's what they did. Because the Big Ten look at the bigger picture. That's why we the ACC, and that's why nobody takes this conference serious. That's why they look at the Big Ten the way they do, because they always make the executive decisions. That's why they look at the SEC the way they do, because they always make their executive decisions. See, the SEC don't have to make those decisions, because any team that they put into their conference championship is well in range. They don't have 5 losses. They don't have a team going into that conference championship that really ain't deserving. And it's not like Duke is outright supposed to be in there like that. This is off tie-breaking scenarios. It's not like if you put somebody else in there and sit down with Duke and say, listen, us putting you in there is not beneficial as a conference. In the bigger picture, you could go out there and win, and you could have a ACC championship trophy that's meaningless in the grand scheme of things, because the standard should be national championship. The standard should be, hey, make it into the playoff, and you have a chance of winning the national championship. You have a chance. If Duke were to win the ACC championship, they're not getting in the playoffs. And let's just say the playoff community say, you know what? F it. They won the ACC. Let's just throw them in there. Duke would get blown out the first chance they play. Absolute garbage. Terrible. And I'll say this too. If Virginia gets into the playoff, they're going to get blown out too. Both of these teams are going to bring shame to the ACC regardless. Virginia is not making it past the first round, second round, championship game. They're not winning nothing. The ACC champion, in this case where you got Virginia versus Duke, it's a loss for the ACC. It's a loss. This is why they don't take the ACC serious. We could sit here all year and say, you know what, hey, the ACC versus the SEC, we got to win here, we got to win there. Shout out to Louisville for blowing out Kentucky 40-something-0. Shout out to Clemson for beating South Carolina. You know, that's tough. Florida State, you're absolute trash, Basuda garbage once again. You let Florida beat you. You let one of the worst Florida teams beat you. You're not bowl eligible. Hell, I don't even think you wanted to go to a bowl game. Florida State at this point, I think y'all has gotten accustomed to drinking your cereal out of a goddamn cup because you ain't got no bowls. You ain't going to no bowls. Y'all don't care about bowls. Florida State do not care about bowls. Plain and simple. How do you let Florida, a 3-8 Florida, 3-8 Florida? You know what's crazy? In the beginning of the year, I rated Florida to go 4-8. And I was absolutely right. I get it right every now and then, guys. I had Florida this season going 4-8. They went 4-8. They went 4-8. They did exactly what I thought they would. Now, I didn't expect them to lose to USF. I must say that. But they went 4-8 just like I said they would. I got it right. Florida State, I did not I did not see y'all going into this last game and shitting the bed. I'm sorry, I'm lying. I did because I predicted the game to be Florida 27, Florida State 17. That was my prediction. And of course, Florida State, of course, you were not a loss. If I don't even remember the scores of the game, I just know you got blown out by Florida. I just know you're terrible, trash, and you had the audacity. You had the audacity to give Mike Norvell another year. You had the audacity. Y'all ain't for real about football. Y'all don't care about football. Y'all just care about doing the ho ho song. Ho ho ho. That's the only thing y'all care about, Florida State fans. Y'all care about showing up to the games and saying ho 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 all game goddamn long. You're annoying. You're annoying. You're annoying. All game long. That's all y'all are known for now. Singing the ho ho song. Absolute garbage. Basura. Trash. Tough. Couldn't make a bowl game. He couldn't make a bowl game. Couldn't make a goddamn bowl game. Bowl games, man. Bowl games. Bowl games. Y'all put in the chat, man. Who should Miami play in a bowl game? And let's be real with it, too. Let's be real with it. Don't put no team that's going into the playoffs. Don't put none of them teams that's going to be in the playoffs. Every other team that did not make it into the playoffs, that's going to be one of Miami's, possible opponents in one of these bowl games. So y'all can let me know, you know what? Who is Miami going to play in these bowl games? You know what? What time is it? I'm going to put the link in the chat for about 10 minutes. I'm going to be on this thing for about 10 more minutes. So I'm going to put a link in the chat for you guys to come in and give your thoughts and opinions, what you think going to happen, what bowl game we going in. Do you still think we make the playoffs? If you want to cry about Notre Dame versus Miami, you can, but it is what it is at this moment. To me, I don't think the committee is going to do anything about that. But I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Y'all can give y'all thoughts and opinions on anything, everything. So the link is in the chat. If you want to join on the show, talk about this Miami situation. Who you think we're going to play in the bowl game? Do you still think we making it to the playoffs? All of that. The link is in the chat. Click it. We'll have a 10-minute conversation about all of this. Other than that, we'll just go wait for the NFL today, watch my Rams dominate like they always do as of lately. Might be on a crash course to play against the Patriots. If you're a Miami Dolphin fan, that's tough. That's tough. But Texas, I see Texas, I see BYU. Texas, and I see BYU. I see Texas and BYU. So USC, another one. I see USC. I think these will all be great opponents too, by the way. Now, obviously, with the letdown of not making the playoffs, I would have to see what Miami team shows up. Clearly, playing against Texas, playing against Arch Manning and them boys, they just came off a win against Texas A&M. They feel like they're on top of the world. They might feel like the bottom of an endless pit. But Miami probably would feel the same way when you don't get into the playoffs. Texas is in that where they're arguing to get in with their 3 losses. Like seriously. Nobody want to hear you cry, Sarkisian. You don't deserve to get in. You lost 3 games. Everybody else that's gonna be, in the conversation only lost at least 2. But you lost 3 and you want to cry. You sound like Alabama and South Carolina last year. And I think Ole Miss also. You sound like them from last season. Stop crying. You don't deserve it. You shouldn't have lost to Florida. You shouldn't have lost to goddamn Florida. 4-8 Florida. Shut up, Sarkeesian. Now, Texas versus Miami, though, I think that would be interesting. Now, clearly, we got to look at what Miami team shows up. Are those guys going to finish out the season? Are those guys going to actually take the bowl game serious? And these are serious questions because if you look at the bowl history for Miami, we really don't take bowl season really seriously. We really don't. I mean, clearly we could have won the Pop Tart Bowl last year had Cam Ward played in the second half, but we really needed to see what we had in Emory Williams, and thank God we actually saw what we had in Emory Williams. Because if you think 10-2, we're 10-2 right now. Had Emory Williams played this season, we probably would be like 7-5, in my opinion, maybe 6-6. That's tough. But hopefully we take the bowl game serious. If we play the bowl game seriously like we played Pitt, I have no doubt that Miami would beat any of in the country. Hell, I think we could beat anybody in the playoffs. So imagine any team that's not even in it if we take it seriously. If all our players show up and show out. Clearly, every year you see teams don't finish strong because they didn't make the big dance. You're gonna have your players that, you know what, I'm opting out the bowl game. You're gonna have your players that say, you know what, I'm gonna go train for the NFL. I'm not gonna play that game. Or if I do play, it's gonna be only the first half or something like that. You're gonna see that happen to every team. So it's not just gonna be Miami. Clearly, if Miami playing Texas got a lot of high caliber talent that's going to be in the NFL draft and stuff like that. So they'll have their opt out too. So clearly, it shouldn't be an excuse for any team, especially if you got players that will be drafted. If you're playing against some team that has no opt outs, and this game right here for them would be a huge boost, then you might be in trouble. That's tough because those players are going to have something to prove. This might be their last push to get into a bowl game or anything like that. To get drafted or build their stock up. BYU versus Miami, in my opinion, that one, it would basically show you all this time, like us being ranked behind them, who really deserved to be where they at. Hold on, let me check something because I can't hear you. Say something.
What going on? You can hear me?
Yeah, hold on. I can't hear nothing you're saying. I gotta switch my settings. Switch this real quick. Audio. Say something now.
What going on? You can hear me?
Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, so Miami BYU. Now, I think we'll just see, do we really belong behind BYU? How much better we is than them, or let's just say if they win, how much better are they than us? But I think we'll beat BYU any given day of the week. But who else did I see out throughout there? USC. We'll mollywop the shit out of USC. We'll beat the shit out of USC. Shit, we could go play at USC.
We getting in, big dog. We getting in. Yeah, bro. We getting in, bro. We'll be in team in the country. We'll be in team in the country, bro. Real talk, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, easy. I don't believe.
You don't think we getting in?
Nah, hell nah. I don't think we getting in.
We getting in, bro. Real talk. We getting in, bro. Straight up.
You can convince me.
And bro,
go ahead and tell me how we get in.
Bro, Finished 10-2, bro. You know, we beat Notre Dame, bro. I don't give a damn when it was. It could have been week 0. Score 27-24. You feel me? Game went close. Mario, you know what I'm saying, slowed the game down. You feel me? And yeah, bro. And like I say, it's all about money, right? But at the end of the day, bro, it like 10-2. My man, mine one of the best teams in the country, bro. Bump the SMU and Louisville game, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't saying bump it like it don't matter, but bro, prepare the records, go head to head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, beat them, bro. Game wasn't really even close. The score wasn't even. Yeah, bro. Then Bama, then even with Bama, you come in opponent, Florida State. We beat them too. Bama lost them, but you know the SEC bias. You know the like it's more like I said about money, but in the day they can't put out. Oh, with
I,
all
I
these
think that
they can't
I
put out
think
with all these metrics talking about the loss, y'all had bad losses. Man, a loss is a
hey,
loss, cuz.
I'll say this though, we could take Bama off the list because Bama gonna beat Georgia in that damn SEC championship.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I forgot about that, yeah. Bro, I don't know, but like I say, out of Notre Dame and Miami, bro. If you gonna leave, if you gonna leave Miami out, then leave Notre Dame out, bro. Both of, if you know what I'm saying, if Notre Dame get in, Miami should get in. But in the day, cause if they getting pulled, if they getting pulled, leave Miami out. Although they beat Notre Dame, bro, I'm not watching no more college football, bro. I'm not. I'm not doing it, bro. For what? Ain't no sense of playing the games, then, bro. Ain't no sense of playing the games. So how it don't matter because we they looked it better after they got beat by Miami and Texas A&M. I don't want to hear that call.
Yeah, what they essentially saying is in week 1, week 2, 3, 4, or whatever, don't don't schedule none of these meaningful games.
Yeah, but get what? Remember last year Miami finished 10-2. Oh, Miami schedule was weak. You know what I'm saying? They did in third. Although our defense was, you know what I'm saying, and our defense wasn't hitting on that because and our schedule was us. Well, that was one of the plans last year. Oh, Miami ain't played nobody. Miami ain't beat nobody. So this year you beat Notre Dame first game of the season. The defender, the runners at the national championship game. One person they was missing was CJ, not CJ, but old boy name was came from Duke quarterback Bradley Leonard. That's the only person who, you know what I'm saying, pretty much left the team. And the OC, the DC, who used to coach for Miami. What's his name, man? He over there in Cincinnati right now. What's dude name, man? Who with the tie? Who was they DC last year? Notre Dame. What
Golden,
color name was?
talking about Golden.
Yeah, Al Golden. Bro, y'all had pretty much had the same team, bro. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, cuz, I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, cuz, you know, but yeah, bro, it's bigger than rap, but Brady, stop selling BS talking about, oh, well, it was week 1 after they look better. They beat Syracuse by 63. Bro, come on, Fran Brown let them boys do that. For real, bro. I don't want to hear all that, cuz. You know, Fran Brown can't stand Miami, bro. You
And
know
you
what I'm
know
saying?
what's crazy?
So hold on, hold on,
Like, clown,
Them two
man.
black
hold on,
dudes,
Hustler.
hold on,
them two
hold on.
black dudes that they got on TV, Galloway and that other milk dud
Oh,
head motherfucker,
oh
they put
Galloway, cuz.
agendas for the past couple weeks now.
Galloway, cuz. Cause like dog, they get him, they get them boys scripts just to say whatever the hell they want to say, cuz. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, if you want to go by the opponent that Miami, and know they just played here recent, they know they ain't beat them boy by 22, 37-15. Cause they won't even no game with us, bro. We beat them boy about 31, bro. And get what? You see, you can't even talk about a common opponent because we beat Notre Dame. So what is we doing? It ain't no metric with Miami and Notre Dame. Both of them got the same record. You got beat, boy, you out of here, boy. Or if you're going to put Miami in, put both of them in. Don't just put one in and leave one out. Cause like, come on, bro. There's innocence to play. Innocence to play the game, bro.
The problem they got is who they gonna take out to put both of them in?
So what?
Who they gonna take out to put both of them in? That's the problem they got right now.
Shit, BYU.
BYU ain't in.
They had 11, right?
11 is irrelevant. 11 belongs to
Trying to
ACC
get it at
champion.
10.
or shoot. Whoever
So
win
you have
ACC, whoever win the
you have to
ACC
take out.
championship game, lead them out. Shoot.
Here's who you'd have to take out. You'd have to take out Alabama. You'd have to take out Notre Dame. Well, you want Notre Dame to stay in, so we're gonna leave Notre Dame. You're gonna have to take out Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Oregon, Texas Tech, or somebody. Who you gonna take out to put both of us in?
Now, real talk though, LSU had Oklahoma in the chokehold now, and they unranked. Feel me? We had a dominant win over a ranked team. So
And then Bama would beat Auburn by 7 points. I don't give a damn. It's a rivalry game or the Iron Bowl Cup. You
and they
struggle, bro.
lost to Florida State first
Straight.
game of
That's
the
what
year.
I'm saying, bro. Nah, the only thing on the way,
So
you
it's a
know what I'm saying?
chance
You want
now.
to
It's a chance.
nah, but I'm
Uh,
saying on the way,
hey,
Alabama will be safe if they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. You feel me? But if Georgia lose, I mean Bama lose. No, if Bama get beat by Georgia in the SEC championship game, boy, them boys should be out, boy.
now
BYU, you get beat by Texas Tech, boy, you out, boy.
let's say that happened. Last year we saw SMU play for the conference championship and
And
lost,
still got in.
and they still got in. You think they're gonna do that to Bama?
Hell no. They ain't doing that to
Right.
Bama, cuz. But they got
At the
but they
end of
got
the
three
day,
losses. But they got 3 losses though, cuz. That's what I say. It's so much BS, cuz. Like, it's getting
let
to
me
a point
ask
like,
you
bro,
this.
I don't even want to watch the junk no more, bro.
Let me ask you this: if Miami was at like the 7th spot right now, and they say, "Hey, if you play the ACC championship and you lose, you're out. But if you don't play that bitch, you're in right now." Are you playing that bitch?
Hell no.
Exactly. So if you tell Bama right now, "Hey, if you play this SEC championship and you lose, you're out," I
Get
ain't
what?
playing if I'm Bama.
But get what? Check this out. Remember last year, they were still trying to get Bama in with 3 losses. What many losses Bama had last year? 3? They
Yeah.
still try to get them boys in, boy. But you know, they SEC, bro. So and days like about that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's getting to the point, bro. I don't even want. Bro, Miami don't get in, bro. Although they like had them 2 losses, called, but I'm not watching it, bro. Cause you can't tell me Miami can beat any team in the country. Well, I said it before we got beat by Louisville and SMU. Miami will beat any team, any place in the nation, boy.
I'm telling
For
you right
real.
now, I'm not watching that ACC championship game.
Oh yeah,
Man,
that's what I'm
that shit
saying.
straight garbage. That shit would
Well,
be
I ain't
straight
listen,
watching
garbage.
well, listen. Well, whoever win that game, cuz shouldn't get an automatic bid, boy. Give it to Miami, bro. Straight like that, bro. Straight like that.
that automatic. If
275, cuz.
Virginia, nah,
How them
if
boys get in
Virginia
over
win,
Miami, bro?
if
How
Virginia
them boys
win,
get in?
they gonna be in. They gonna be
I'm
in
just
because
saying.
they
Well, how you
ranked
75?
19th. This
How
this
them
next
boys? How them boys?
ranking, the next ranking coming up, Virginia gonna move up because some of them teams in front of them lost. So they're gonna be well in range to get in with an ACC championship at 11.
Nah. If Virginia lose the ACC, then what?
Nobody.
That's crazy.
At the end of the day, it shouldn't be if this, that, and third. We beat Notre Dame, bro. So they head to head 10 same record, bro. 10-2. I don't care about all that Virginia do. Boy, listen, boy, we beat Notre Dame, boy, first game of the season. Boy, I don't care when they play. Boy, we beat them. It shouldn't be no
I
one.
want
We got
I
bro.
want
No.
I want Duke to win that game, the ACC championship, so we can show these motherfuckers what a dumbass we got as a commissioner. And no ACC team get in that big, he gonna learn. They gonna look at his ass like, yo, what the heck? What the fuck is you doing? When Ohio State had to get in 2020 because the commissioner of the Big Ten said y'all got the best chance to go in there and try to win the championship. That's what we doing. Why the hell we got this commissioner that can't make an executive decision?
Right.
If Duke win this bitch, nobody gets in. If Miami plays Virginia, if Miami win, Miami in. If Virginia win, Virginia in. What kind of decision do you have to make? It's right in front of you. You got big time analysts and big time people that do all this sports shit that's pretty much put it out there on Twitter and saying, hey, if I'm the ACC, I'm overriding this shit. Duke, you're not playing.
It shouldn't cut down to that, cuz we beat Notre Dame, bro. All the ACC, bro. With that, no, listen.
I'll tell Duke
Listen,
this.
cuz.
I'll tell
All
Duke this. You'll be the first team in history to share an ACC championship. If you put Miami in that bit and they win, you can share the bit. But you're not getting in. You're not playing that game.
What I'm saying is, we should that Virginia and Duke. Bro, listen, I understand all that, but cuz, in the day, cuz, you beat Notre Dame, bro. We should have to be talking about Duke and Virginia. Boy, in the day, they say head to head, same record. Bump all the other metrics. They even want to go to the common point. I wish you even go to no common point when Notre Dame beat them by 22, cuz we beat Notre Dame. Point blank period. Cuz I don't want to hear about where they beat them by 22. Man, we beat Notre Dame. I don't give a darn when it happened. It happened 25 this season. I don't care about it, bro. I don't care about it. It's nothing about what we need. We don't need nobody to do nothing. Only thing we need to do, put Miami in over be ahead of Notre Dame in that point blank period. We ain't gotta worry about nobody who needs somebody to lose or the conference. No, we beat Notre Dame, point blank period. I don't want to hear nothing else. It's no metric behind this. It's no metric.
After the game yesterday, Mario, it sounded like he convinced that that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna
exactly. Cause
You already seen it happen.
Oh man, we don't need nobody else to win. We beat Notre Dame, bro. I don't care what it was. I don't care if we beat them by 1 point.
Go back to last season. They were talking about a 10-2 Miami versus a 9-3 Alabama and a 9-3 South Carolina. That's the conversation they were having.
Remember last year we ain't beat nobody. You know, our strength of schedule was so fugazi. Now our strength we beat 4 top 25 teams this year, and we still having the same problem. Cause like, bro, get the hell on, bro. That's the case. Ain't no sense of playing. Ain't no sense of playing no ball then, bro. Ain't no sense of playing no ball. 1 year, the strength of schedule this year, we beat, 4 ranked opponents. Then you beat the running up for the national championship, first game of the season. Like that don't count. But y'all talking about 2 losses. No, they got 2 losses, and one of them happened to be Miami. What we doing, bro?
You know what's crazy though? When we was like in the beginning of the season, we was winning. We were 5-0. I started telling Kane at the end of the year, they're gonna start looking at these wins and they're gonna look at style points and all that. And I told them we need to win these games and we need to win comfortably. We don't need to have no doubts in their head. They talking about we can win the game by a point as long as you win. This ain't how college football works. This ain't how that shit works. We got to start murdering these teams we play them. I don't care if we up by 30 already. We still got to step on their head. Keep stepping on them.
But that's how we've been playing the last 4 weeks, though.
We should have been playing like that the whole freaking year.
Yeah, the whole way.
And that's the only problem. Only problem I got with Mario. Mario, a great coach, great recruiter, but he don't have killer instinct. He don't have that killer instinct. You want to run the ball down your throat. You ain't gonna run up no score running the ball down nobody's throat, dog. You gonna run the clock, yeah, but you ain't gonna run up no score like that. You'll run their defense tired, but you ain't gonna put up a lot of points just running the ball.
What's up?
You'll beat a team with the submission, but when you look at them scores, you ain't ran it up on nobody. You seen what Notre Dame did to Syracuse? We could have did that to a lot of these teams we played. This conservative bullshit got to stop. We got to start murdering teams. Don't feel sorry for none of them.
But you gotta understand too, Cole. You know what I'm saying? Even with Miami Notre Dame, the point spread was 2.5. We was underdog. We covered that. Actually, we won by 3. You feel me? So them point spreads, this, that, and third. You know what I'm saying? All that play a big factor too, bro. You ain't gonna cover every game, bro.
What you see happen is they change the rules for us, bro.
Exactly. I was gonna say a lot of teams in the top 10 want to dominate.
That quality win, this quality win, that quality win. But now you want to talk about losses. Now you want to Miami lost to 2 unranked teams, but you want to praise a team for losing to good teams, but you want to the teams that actually beat that team, you don't give them no credit for that game.
Yep. But saying it always been like that with Miami, you know what I'm saying? Way back in the early 80s, bro, ain't nothing changed, bro. They didn't change the time, date, of the year, bro. This been going on with Miami, bro. Even with Miami Notre Dame, bro. 85, bro. Jimmy Johnson ran up the score cuz it was dog last game, brother, on NBC. They ran the score up 59-7, cuz. and they still got bite. They still got hate towards that, bro. That was 40 something. That was 30 something years ago, cuz 40 something years ago. You feel me? They still man, yo, bro. You gotta think, no, them a Catholic school, cuz a Catholic school. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Ain't got an NBC contract. Think about that real quick. Go and do some research on Catholic school. I mean, Catholic school, cuz. Like real talk, it's bigger than football, bro. They just get they just slide that to the people because the people don't do research to see how deep this junk is, bro.
Caesar, think about this. Me and you've been talking about this rigged and
Yeah,
how the money is being put into it by Vegas and all this.
Right.
How think about this. Almost all those games, they predict teams to win by this much and that much. And half the time, more than half the time, when it comes down to it, they win by that damn amount that they said. Or they win by a little bit or a little bit over.
Or they don't cover.
Exactly. It's like this. You can see the shit rigged.
Yeah.
How are you so good at predicting this shit? And you almost right every single time.
Because, like I said, they're the ones who put out the spread. Say they and like I said, the game rigged, manipulated, this, that, and the third. The referees in on it, coaches in on it, the people who getting paid that bitch out NIL money, they in on it. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, what Miami spread was yesterday? 6.5.
Let's talk about this.
What's
they
up?
say Miami need to blow out everybody, right? We need to go out there and do the eye test and be dominant, right? But they don't have that damn criteria for nobody else.
Nobody.
But listen,
Alabama could go out there and win by 2 points. Oh, that was a great win. They
in the SEC. They in the SEC, bro. Hold on. They in the SEC, bro.
Go out there and barely beat a sorry ass LSU team without a
they in the SEC. Call, listen. They in the SEC. The SEC's got a contract with ESPN. So then you gotta think. You gotta think, cause of course the SEC and the ESPN generating money, bro. Revenue, bro. So they gonna again ESPN stuff for entertainment, sports, programming, network. It's to program. Them the keywords: entertainment and programming. It's to program you to say they gonna come out in their agenda to say this, but all actuality is totally different, bro. If I want to program to do you something, I'm gonna mind control you. You know what I'm saying, to get you to believe this. But it's an illusion, bro. It's an illusion. So in the day, Miami, Miami gonna get in, boy. It's the program. Cause get what? If Miami was really over, they would have put Miami over Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? When the rankings first started, the college football playoffs rankings, they ain't got nothing to talk about, bro. What can we talk about? It gotta be a little biased, you know what I'm saying, to get people to reel in and keep watching it every week, bro. Football every week until the final rankings, cuz.
Yeah, I think they getting the committee getting a little exposed about how biased they is right now, dog, for real. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of them SEC teams, dog, they ain't even that good. I think a lot of these ACC teams smack up a couple of these SEC teams.
Bro, ain't no dominant team in college football, bro. To be honest with you, I said that shit before. I said that before we started when we lost them 2 games.
Right.
Actually, I had us win national championship. There ain't no dominant team. Ohio State. Go and look at Ohio State. Only right number 1 because they defended national champion. But if you really going to look at who they played non-conference, I mean, they conference or people outside of the conference, but they ain't played nobody. Indiana, no one played nobody. But you gotta think they in the Big Ten. The Big Ten, the SEC. So get what? Generate that money. Don't send them contracts, this, that, and third. So yeah, they're gonna be biased, especially because Miami. Like I said, they ain't been like in Miami since the 80s. Real talk.
What they do, y'all boys?
What going on?
What's happening?
Vibing, man. I'm just listening to y'all. Feel that when I hear that rig stuff, I'm just like, man. And it's obvious. You can see it. Like in the SEC, they want to say that is so dominant, but it's really only ran by Georgia and Alabama. If you look at it, it ain't that damn dominant. They gonna make their decision on what they want to do, but like you say, head to head should always matter. We beat Notre Dame. This shouldn't be a question. Like, but it's a hurricane. They want to make it a question.
I wish we could run that shit back and play them boys again or something. But then we'll be giving them what they want. You know what I'm saying? But I think we'll beat their ass again.
And you know what's funny? They talk about strength of schedule. The SEC done took off every game that they had playing Miami. They done took off mostly all the games that they played the ACC. They setting that shit up to where you can't get no win off of them. You can't boost your schedule by saying, look at all these teams that we played and we beat this team from the SEC. South Carolina ain't playing us in 26 or 27 no more. Auburn ain't playing us in 29 no more. They don't make sure the SEC don't stick this shit where now they're gonna play 9 conference games and they're gonna play a so-called high quality game. So now they ain't got to worry about any other conference benefiting off of them, beating them.
That's why.
I say, and I don't think this ACC commissioner gets it. He gonna end up just like the fucking Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
You already see the narratives out there. All these teams from the ACC, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, those all them other conferences are being, tagged in that. Miami, whether it's the Big 12, the Big 10 or the SEC. You got Clemson name running through the SEC or the freaking Big 10. You got Florida State running through there. All the teams that anybody would even watch in the ACC. And you don't say, you know what? Let's start scheduling all the games that fucking matter. All the games that people are going to watch. All the games that going to make the ACC get to the next level. Y'all shit about to die.
Yeah, that shit garbage. This shit garbage. This ACC shit garbage.
You got an ACC championship that nobody going to watch. Nobody's going to watch. They'll check the score. They'll keep an eye on the score while they watching all the other conference games.
And then what I don't understand, TY, why they don't just do it by the highest ranked ACC? Why they do it like how they doing it with the amount of ACC wins?
At this point, I think they care more about Duke's feeling than they care about the conference as a whole.
That's wild.
I saw the Big Ten step in and say, you know what? Ohio State give us the best chance to try to win the championship. And as a conference, I would want my team to be in a big dance for a championship than a freaking ACC champion that can't go to the playoffs.
Man.
You got to make that executive decision and say, you know what, Duke? We're going to put Miami in there. If they win, you can share the ACC championship. Because if you go in there and you win the ACC championship, you can't do shit with it.
Right.
You ain't getting in the playoffs.
Right.
It don't make no sense for you to play. You could go in the corner and cry about it, and hell, you could sue. You could do whatever you want to do. But this is what's best for the conference. At some point, you got to say, let's do what's best for the fucking conference. You see the narratives out there every fucking week. It's a chance that no ACC team could get in if Duke wins. You see the narrative already. All right, bet.
Right. And shit, even if Virginia make it in, I mean, how many playoff games you see Virginia winning? You know what I'm saying?
They're going to lose the first round.
The first round.
Right.
If Duke get in, Duke ain't even getting in, so we ain't even gonna talk about
it. They ain't getting in.
Hell,
so if Virginia gets in, they'll first round knockout. If I'm a team that's in the playoffs already, I'm hoping I play Virginia. It's just like playing a group of 5.
Right.
It's easy money.
Right.
Nick Saban sat there yesterday and told everybody, if Miami gets in this thing, they're a problem for everybody.
Dang.
You got the GOAT sitting on national TV on ESPN on game day telling you that if Miami get in there, they're going to be a problem for everybody. They fully compact. You talking about offense and defense.
Duke of Virginia will beat them by 30 points right now. Line it up.
Both of them. Cause ain't Virginia quarterback still hurt? They quarterback back?
Who?
For Virginia?
Yeah, they quarterback there. It don't make no difference.
Right.
It don't make no difference. If you line Miami up against Virginia, we'll blow their ass out. Same way we did Pitt.
Line it up.
We'll blow Duke out even worse.
Yeah.
It don't it don't make no sense. Everybody knows it and sees that Miami is the best team in the ACC. If we had 3 losses, I wouldn't even be talking. But Duke got 2 losses just like we do.
Exactly. So
Them motherfuckers
what's the
got 5.
difference, dog?
Duke right now is 7-5, dog. You got 5 losses. What playoff is you getting in with 5 losses?
And what's crazy is they can fuck around and upset Virginia.
I hope they do. I hope they do. That shit gonna teach this ACC commissioner a big fucking lesson. You gonna sit there in championship week and you gonna see not one ACC team in that motherfucker, and everybody gonna be looking at your dumb ass like you could have stopped this. You could have changed this. Clearly, Virginia gonna beat Duke, and then Virginia will be in, and then they'll get knocked out the first round.
Gonna get slapped silly.
But I'm hoping
They
that
gotta
Duke,
play Texas.
find a way to win that game, just to show this dumbass.
Who they will have to play the first round? Texas Tech, right?
They'll be 11. Hold on. Let me pull up let me see the racket that they had last night.
Them boys gonna get smashed by Texas Tech, man.
Get smashed by anybody they play in the playoffs. Oregon, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. It don't matter.
Damn, that's
And
unfortunate, dog.
So they'll
they
play Texas A&M the first round, according to their brackets.
Mm.
I don't see Virginia beating no damn Texas A&M.
Truth be told, Texas A&M ain't really played nobody. Then when they did play Texas, they got smacked. So
Yeah, but
it
Virginia
might
ain't play
actually,
nobody. That's how Virginia got into the dance, because they ain't play nobody.
right. Right.
you ain't play nobody this. You don't play. Why damn it? Why you schedule these people then? Like, come on, dog. Mm.
Yeah, man, but shoot. I'm going to hang this thing up, man. I'm about to
All
go
right.
enjoy the rest of my day.
All right.
Appreciate y'all boys, man. But, everybody, appreciate y'all for tuning in all day. Hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all go enjoy your day. We'll see what's going on Tuesday. We'll see what's going on in championship week. And, look forward to seeing who Miami plays in the bowl game. That's all I can say. Unless some miracle happen, unless the committee decide that they really want to dive into Miami versus Notre Dame and put Miami in over them, which I don't see happening, we'll talk about it if it do. But right now, Canes fans, let's just hope our team show up for a bowl game. That's it. I'm out.